And actually, another good lad is you, Tech Up Dave. Good to see you in the studio. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
I'm all right. We're going to talk about whether we are drinking ourselves to death, not with alcohol, but with Diet Coke, in just a second. But now it is time for Cat of the Week.
It's Cardi B's Cat of the Week.
Right, Dave, who is the Cat of the Week this week?
Cat of the Week this week has been nominated by Jude Murphy from East Yorkshire, who she says is the daughter of an Irish RAF father and a Yorkshire mother. She loves my country, Brexit, and by no means least, Yorkshire Gold tea. Very
sensible woman on the Yorkshire Gold, definitely a big fan.
Her cat is Oscar, which I believe you can see on screen now.
You can. Beautiful cat with black and white markings there. Quite a big white chest there, looking good.
She says Oscar might be an old boy, have a raggedy ear, war wounds from invaders in the garden. I'm intrigued by that.
Yes.
Grubby nose and a pancreas that doesn't work as it should. But lordy, he's a cutie. What do you reckon?
I reckon that Oscar is incredibly cute, a very, very beautiful boy. And listen, I think that sometimes the war wounds actually make them cuter because it just shows their experience.
Experience and personality.
Experience and personality.
Yes.
Well, listen, if you are listening on Talk Radio rather than watching Talk TV, Tech Up Dave will be sending me the video of Oscar, and I will put it on my Twitter at Peter Cardwell after the show. So thank you for that. But we're going to talk now with Tech Up Dave about aspartame. And now, Tech Up Dave, I did have a slightly concerned texter earlier saying that only you were going to be giving us your thoughts on whether it's carcinogenic. I mean, Tech Up Dave is a very, very intelligent man, but a medical expert is not.
It's not my thing.
You're not
really.
a nutritionist.
No.
Well, the good news is that we do have a nutritionist who's going to talk to us, and that is Monica Price, who's a nutritionist and broadcaster, because what has happened is that aspartame, the cancer research arm of the World Health Organization, has been reviewing about 1,300 studies on aspartame and cancer. And apparently it's going to be classified as possibly carcinogenic, which means that it can cause cancer. Let's talk to Monica. You're very welcome to Talk TV this afternoon. How are you?
Hello, Peter. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well, although I am a bit worried about my Diet Coke consumption, because Dave, who's my sidekick, has his can of Diet Coke. Basically what happens when the show goes to air is that I buy the Diet Cokes, he brings in the biscuits, and that sort of powers us through to 1 o'clock. So I have my Diet Coke here, but we perhaps shouldn't be drinking it. Tell us what the study is saying.
We've got to change this, Peter. We've got to change it. I mean, this actually, Peter, is a very significant report. At the moment, we've just had some leaked, things from the report. The actual full report is going to be published on July the 14th. But, aspartame has been around for years. But when I was doing my studies in university, I came across this drink and this odourless powder, this chemical. And in 1977, there was a very significant report then called the Breslin Report, where 98 out of 196 mice actually died from cancer due to exposure from aspartame. So this led for the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration in America, because it came from America, to actually ban aspartame at that time. And it's had a very checkered past, Peter, aspartame. If you look at the history of it, it's been it was discovered inadvertently, actually. The scientists were in the labs doing something else, and they inadvertently just tasted this white powder, and they suddenly realised it was incredibly sweet and something could be done with it. And a huge American company called Searle was the main producer of it, and saccharine came first, and then, of course, we've had aspartame. So the problem is with it, Peter, is that the clue is in the title. It's an artificial sweetener, and it's a chemical, and it's addictive. And we're already seeing stories come out about it, and we're already seeing, people supporting this. But of course, the drinks industry aren't going to support this.
Well,
this will have a significant impact.
Monica, presumably you welcomed the sugar tax in this country a couple of years ago, trying to make sure that we have a bit less sugar in our diets. But at the same time, aspartame and other artificial sweeteners are probably more prevalent now than they were.
That's absolutely true, Peter, and that's the problem. What we've sugar is become the bad thing, and quite rightly so. We're consuming far too much sugar in this country. But what we've done is we're now relying on artificial sweeteners, and the problem is with them, and particularly with aspartame, it's an odourless powder.
Yep.
It contains 2 amino acids that occur naturally in our bodies anyway. And I think that's where in the past, I'm no scientist, but where it's kind of thought, oh, well, you know, it occurs naturally in our body, these amino acids, so it's okay to have it in all of our foods. What I'm seeing, Peter, is that we have a global epidemic now of obesity and diabetes. And then now more and more studies are coming out suggesting that there's a link between having these artificial sweeteners in our diet and actually weight gain.
But surely the point of artificial sweeteners is that you don't gain weight. Surely they're meant to be a replacement for... Actually, can you just clear something up, actually, Monica, just before we go on? Because we've had a texter saying it's pronounced aspartame. How do you pronounce it?
It's aspartame. Aspartame.
Okay.
Some people call it aspartame is how I say it. Some people say no, aspartame is really that's the way you should.
Dave, do you have a question for Monica?
Yeah, I was just going to say, how do we avoid it? Because I mean, it's like 95% of fizzy drinks. So, and it says it. I found out it's in dairy products. It's everywhere. So how can we avoid it?
It is. That's a really good question, Dave. And that is going to be difficult, which is why, for me personally as a nutritionist, this is a very significant report. When this report comes out, this is going to have a massive impact on the food and beverage industry, because the likes of, for instance, you've got the big guys, the Coca-Cola, the PepsiCo, the Tate & Lyle, all of these big conglomerate companies belong to the Sweeteners Association. Well, of course they do, because this is a massive, massive industry. It makes them millions and millions of dollars. So they're not going to like this report, and already they're condemning it. But what we should remember is that, you know, the WHO, the World Health Organization, is a leading global health body that we have. So we have to take note of what they're saying, and we have to learn to. If I was a nutritionist, which I am, when I first started nutrition, it was the very first thing I learned. It was the very first thing I learned about, and it's the very first thing I take out of people's diets. When they do a food diary and they come to me for a consultation, I will eliminate all of the artificial sweeteners out of their diet. And this is because I know how it disrupts your metabolism.
What about we've had a texter say, Peter, you would have to drink about 11 cans of Diet Coke a day every day for about 15 years for any cancer-forming properties to form. Don't fall into the trap of these doom mongers. I mean, the quantities here, what do you make of that aspect, just finally, Monica?
Yeah, I mean, they're saying between 13 to 30 cans of a fizzy drink of Coke or similar to have the amount that you would need to cause cancer. But what's interesting is this has become, it's going to be labelled as a possible carcinogenic to humans, that is really important, and I think it's about time. We have to really look now at what the artificial sweeteners are doing to our bodies, and are they increasing our weight gain? Because many studies now are showing that they are, and is there a probability that they can cause cancer? I mean, these are why we've got scientists. We have to listen to these reports. So it would be really interesting, and a very significant report it will be to the food and beverage industry, definitely.
Okay, thank you very, very much indeed for your thoughts on that. Monica Price there, nutritionist and broadcaster.